Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising. G has got some news for you. Listen up, Leo. This is September. This is your time to shine. We've got lots of things happening in the earth signs. Understand something about earth. Earth is our money. It's our tangible world. It's the things that we can see, that we can touch, that we can hold. It's all that we value, that we love, our financial security. Leo, I am looking at your chart and I'm looking at the frequencies, I'm looking at the energies, the planetary lineups. And if you play your cards right, Leo, if you make your new moon wishes, if you're smart and you do it in a way where you're using the planetary frequencies, where you're wishing along the flow, with the wave, with the flow of the energies, you, Leo, can set the intentions so that your future establishes a financial steady flow. We have a new moon in September and it's in the sign of Virgo. Why does this matter? Virgo is our job, our work. It's our health habits. It is hygiene. It is our routines, our projects that we work on. Virgo is our thinking. It's analytical. It knows how to connect the dots. It sees the details, but it's working something beautiful. It's working something big. It's taking a look and connecting Saturn in Capricorn. It's talking to Venus. It's having conversations with your second house of money and income. All about, are you ready to receive? This is your September 2020 energetic outlook. I am G, and I want you to come and walk with me. Are you ready, Leo? Are you ready, Leo? Are you ready, Leo? We're going to take a look at the beginning of September, actually. And it started off with a full moon. Now, the full moon happened in the sign of Pisces. And the sign of Pisces energy, 8th house. So your 8th house is deep emotional bonds. It is where we say it's not just about what I value, but it's about what we value. It's partnerships, but it's partnerships that are deeply bonded partnerships. It's where you understand each other energetically. And an energetic understanding is powerful, and it's powerful for many reasons. A lot of people say that these connections are from past lives, history from other lifetimes. And if you don't believe in that, then some look at it in a way where you can say, okay, this person reminds me of such and such from when I was a little kid. You know, this person reminds me of my mother or my brother or my father, right? Like there's something there where they remind you of somebody. There's a familiarity. And not only is there a familiarity, but there's a connection, an energetic connection. And there really is. There are energetic links that we have to other individuals, and we don't know how to explain it. We're like, but I've never met you, although I feel like I've known you all my life. How do you explain that? Well, you can say 1,001 things. Well, we have a lot of things in common, right? But no, you always know there's some resonating, some deep below the surface resonating frequencies that occur that help you to energetically connect with these people, whether you see them in flesh or not. When we look at this, Leo, this is your 8th house energy. And the 8th house is a Pluto area. It's Plutonian. It is the soul's energy. The soul does not die. So if your soul doesn't die, is it possible then that the soul has links, has connectivity with other souls? Is that possible? To know before you go, because there's this knowing. And even if we don't have the knowing, we can hear the knowing that's coming through others. And there's a part of us that's like, I've never read this. I've never heard anybody else say it. But there's some weirdness in me that says, I know this is true. It resonates within me. There's a knowing. Virgo energy, we're talking about the new moon that's coming. But at the opposite of this new moon, you had this full moon in your Piscean energy, right? Because Virgo energy in your second house is at the opposite of your Piscean energy. And so this means this was in your 8th house. And in your 8th house, this is a culmination. This is a closure on something. This is about partnerships, but deeply bonded partnerships. This is about energetic bonds and somehow finding a way to accomplish a closure. Maybe it was simply just an understanding about a relationship. Why did we have this energetic connectivity? What was it about our relationship that created that? And sometimes that's a mystery. Sometimes we just feel it, but we can't see it. We don't have the links. Somehow there was an elevated emotion that occurred at the beginning of September. And that elevation of emotion in the Piscean energy, it's a sacrificial energy is what Pisces is. It's this, I'm willing to sacrifice for those that I feel deeply bonded to. And it's without a doubt, you have links to these people, whether you call them lineage, whether it's from history, from ancestry, whether you can say, yeah, like they've got the same whatever, when we look back in time and we go back through links in our generational gap, like my grandparents, we must be related type of thing. There's a lot of that there in your 8th house. So in other words, what does that mean? It means you come into contact with souls, with individuals. It's not even about the personalities. You know, you see the personalities, they might be fun, they might not. There's people that you come across, they can rub you the wrong way or you get along right away, but these are soul contacts, these are soul lifetimes, and it's the connectivity or the friction or the whatever it may be, they're lessons. Bottom line, we learn lessons that we teach each other, and there's something we do, something we say, either presses a hot button in them, and if it presses a hot button, it brings up something in us, but it's something buried. And so we need these people in our lives, even if they cause us stress, because it is those buttons that when they press them and we see how we responded, we see a part of our being that comes out that might not be so nice, that takes us by surprise even. And all of a sudden it comes up and it rears its head. And when it rears its head, there's a response from them, there's a reaction from them, and it's that clash, that face-to-face, that boxing, where it's like, whoa, I had no idea. Like, did I step on your toes? Obviously you did. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, like, yeah, that just came out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe they said that. Can't believe they did that. There's a whole lot of that. There's a whole lot of wow. But the only way is for those buttons to get pressed. And so when that happens, that brings up our own awareness of the degrees of our personality. And it is when we can have greater cognizant, greater awareness of that, right? When we grow our consciousness that way. This is what this is all about, expanding our consciousness. The living of the life, the living of the personality. It's being aware of the degrees and the different layers of way your personality can express. It's not always beautiful. It's not always pleasant. It's not always roses. It's not always balloons and unicorns and birthday cake and ice cream and presents and yay. Many times it's, ooh, shit. Like I want to go hide, right? Like many times it's not so nice stuff. There's tension and stress and frustration. Yeah, and we're worn out. This is what it does, right? We learn how to deal with different personalities. And this is the beauty of the 8th house, because we end up coming into contact with those individuals from our past. Whether it's the past of this life or another, it doesn't really matter. It's simply old wounds, old energetic, emotional healing that needs to occur. And many times we don't realize it until somebody says or does something, and it somehow, this thing rises up in us, this anger, this frustration, this hurt, this pain, the wound, right? It's the salt in the wound. All of a sudden we realize that wound is still open and we didn't know it was still open. And so when somebody else comes by and does or says something, we were like, wow, this still isn't healed. I thought I had been through that, right? Just when we think we've healed, we get the reminder, nope, it's still there. It's still open. It still hurts. That's a whole lot of words I just said, a whole lot of something. And I hope it meant something to you. I hope it resonated deeply. But the whole purpose is to grow, to expand, to open up, but at the same time to elevate vertically. Because in a vertical elevation, it's not about I'm above you or I'm more than you or I know more than you or I'm holier than thou or that the rules don't pertain to me. It's not that at all. It's really more of the ability to see our own wounds, the ability to see our own ego tendencies, the ability to see the ugly parts, the ugly degrees of me, but to embrace them and to say, okay, yeah, like I probably said that and didn't think first, and I apologize, that was hurtful, and I didn't mean for it to be hurtful. It's just that I was hurting, right? And so many times these things happen. And the whole role is to hold ourselves accountable to be the adult of ourself. That is what it's all about in the big picture. Mama raised us, but then there comes a time when the baby gets out of the nest and has to fly off. But there's still growing up that we need to do. But it's not Mama's job to do that. It's not my wife's job. It's not my husband's job. It's not the teacher's job. A good teacher will tell you, I can lead you to this information. I can take it to you. I can even hand it to you. Only one that can do anything with it is you. The full moon in the 8th house, there's a new birthing that comes out of it. Because when we decide, okay, that's a wrap, I'm done with that, you decide to reinvent who you are in a sense. You decide to try a different avenue, a different approach. And this is what's good because you find out what doesn't work. And then from there, we experiment and we keep evaluating. We keep relooking at what we've already done, and then we move forward, and this is how we grow. And then we can share that knowledge. And so we're going to get to the opposite side of your 8th house. We're going into your 2nd house of money. So first of all, 8th house in the beginning of the month, September 2nd full moon was our values, but this is what we value, right? This is what I was doing. I felt like I was sacrificing and I wanted you all to sacrifice. And now I'm finding out that might not work in group energy, right? All the time, because we might not all be on the same wavelength. I've trusted that we were on the same wavelength. And now I'm realizing, I guess we're not all. Like my idea of what we want to do for the group and the sacrifice for us all and that we are all one, not everybody may get it, but their definition of it is different. So what we do is time moves on. And as time moves on, your thinking is going to change because the planet Mercury changes. But what I love is that the planet Mercury is going to be moving for you into your 3rd house, the house of the diplomat. And this is good because when Mercury gets into the Libran energy is called the diplomat because it understands what this one's saying and it understands what this one's saying. And it knows how to bring the left and the right together. Okay, it knows how to talk to each side because it really does understand both sides of the explanation or of the theories of the parties. I don't want to say that. That sounds political. This is not political. But it understands the different ways of thinking. It sees the different perspectives. And it really wants peace. It really wants beauty. And you've got Libran energy in your 3rd house, which is all about beautiful communication. How can I talk in a way where it's just fair, where it's balanced, where we are all equal, where it's beautiful, beautiful communication. Now, this is in the house of siblings, right? That's the 3rd house energy. So there likely will be elevated communications with siblings going on. Because it's Mercury there, it's Mercury and Venus talking, and so this can be beneficial. It's setting a nice, sweet trine to the North Node, and the North Node is in Gemini energy, and Libra and Gemini energy trine each other. When I say the word trine, remember, trine means adds ease to my life. Adds a nice, beautiful ease, like it just happens. I don't have to work really hard for it. It just is. It's almost like the gift just lands right in my lap. I like this a lot. I like the fact that you're going to have Mercury in your 3rd house. Mercury is keeping track of data, of information. Mercury's all about business, all about how can we make something work. What is the skill set we have, this new skill set that we have, and how can we make money off it? Because it's in Libra. And Libra, well, Venus is the ruler of Libra. Venus is all about my money, my coins. Where are them coins? That's Venus energy. So it's all about let's relate, let's talk, let's communicate. Let's discuss talking one-on-one. How can I counsel you one-on-one? What is my gift? What do I have to offer you? What is my knowledge? So I would seek you for that. If you know that, then you could help me. I understand this, so I could help you, right? So there's this barter thing too, because Gemini, Mercury, it's all about that. And this is why I love this trine. Now, it's a fast trine. This trine doesn't last long. At the same time, we're going to have Mercury squaring Saturn. Now, your Saturn energy, this is in your 6th house. This is your work. This is your health. This is health hygiene. This is routines. This is work projects, job, career. How I express my best. Group energy, but in a structured way, a way where we are trying to get to the same goal. What is the same goal? How to establish financial security. That is the goal. Financial stability. That is the goal with Capricorn energy in the 6th house. And coming to the realization that to establish financial security, you may have to make sure that you first have in place a sustainable health routine. A health routine that involves hygiene, that involves best practices for health, and understanding that our health isn't just our physical body, but it has so much to do with our physical, mental, and spiritual being. And how do we keep all that intact so that we have a strong physical body. Because what we do here, what we hold in our heart space, then becomes our external world, then becomes what is. The frequencies that you hold today become your tomorrow. The frequencies that you hold today become your tomorrow. When I say frequencies, these are the thoughts that you hold. These are the vibrations. Your thoughts are energy, and they vibrate at a particular frequency. The very high up there frequencies are not in the 3D. They're in the 5D. So for people who are really deeply spiritual and are kumbaya and monks and all that, right? They're all up there. They're in the 5D because they don't have a lot of 3D energy in their chart, in their makeup. They actually don't have a lot of earth energy. Earth is 3D. And so they have a hard time structuring the tangible and the material in the physical world. You see the kitty cat? And so many times there's a gap of information that's missing. So this brings us up the new moon. The new moon happens on the 17th of September, and the 17th of September, days before this new moon, we had the planet Jupiter standing still. And anytime a planet stands still, it becomes stronger. And Jupiter is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is your tangible world. Jupiter adds to things. And we have Saturn, and we have Pluto there, and we've had all this going on. We've had all this going on since the beginning of 2020. And there's going to be a reminder. It's almost like we're going to be thinking back spring of 2020, because there will be events occurring where we're reevaluating choices that we made based on what we were experiencing in spring of 2020. Because you're going to see this on a large scale, and then you're going to see it on a personal, private scale in your life, like at home, okay? So your Capricorn energy, again, this is your 6th house. Jupiter's in your 6th house. I'm still in your 6th house, man. I'm still in your health. I'm still in your job routines, your health routines, your projects, work projects. If you don't have any good habits set up, when Jupiter stands still, it's likely there's going to be some sort of a new structure, some new financial stability, some new things implemented that will supposedly help to establish more order in your tangible Capricorn job, structure, big work, and government world. Will there be rules coming in from the government? It's a possibility. Okay, it's a possibility. There may be more things, more hoops we have to jump. There might be other things, right? They might say, yeah, these rules we had before don't work. We're going to do these new rules. Jupiter likes to add to things. When Jupiter stands still, it says, let's do more of that. So be prepared for that. Okay, depending upon where you live, where you are in the world, that could look different, right? But we are seeing rises. We are in the middle of a pandemic, and there were choices made so that people could go to work, right? Kids at home doesn't work if people got to go to the job, right? Not everybody has a Miss K where they can send their kids off to this place where they can be taught and where they can be monitored and helped with their studies and tutored. So what we have to do is we might be reevaluating those things, and it might be structures within our government, of our town, of our home, of our country, of wherever we live, where you might see some changes happening. Okay, so be aware of that. And you're probably not going to like the changes because they're squaring Mercury, and Mercury is information. Mercury is, I'm bringing you the news. And it's a square, which is stressful and it's tension. And so it doesn't sound good. It sounds uncomfortable. But this is before, right? This is before the new moon. Honing in on the new moon energy, it's all about making wishes for your future. It is beautiful because for you, you have earth energy in the tangible houses. You have Virgo energy in your 2nd house, tangible house, 2nd house. Earth house is Taurus, that's your 2nd house. You have Virgo there. This is where you receive, how you make money. You make money, you receive by being intellectual, by being analytical, by being able to dissect, by being able to connect the dots and to share that information, by being the troubleshooter. It's Virgo energy. Virgo is very good at seeing the details, very good at organizing. Virgo is all about, I can see how to connect the dots to get to the goal. That is Virgo. Virgo has a tendency to over-criticize because it can over-associate with the details, and therefore we don't want to drown in the details. There are moments where it's just this beautiful bits of information that we can't get anywhere else. We need it from you. You've got this in your 2nd house. And so understanding you've got mercurial energy there. This is internet energy. This is social media, right? This is doing that. This is working online. This is being the person who brings the information. This is the teacher as well. Lots of Virgos, because Mercury's the ruler, is a teacher, a speaker, a writer, a communicator. You could be writing novels. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. You have a lot of freedom. So there's a lot of different ways that can look in your life. But it connects intimately with your sixth house of work. Intimately, like it's a beautiful trine. It's talking, it's trining, it's making it easy. And then that connects with your 10th house. So the house number 2 is income. House number 6 is job. House number 10 is my ambitions. All of your earth houses are those. You have earth energies in the earth houses. So a lack for money, a lack for funds, likely not for you, Leo. Even if a job ends, there's probably another one right there in the wings waiting, or maybe you have multiple ones. But you're getting more information at this time. You're going to get more information how to add additional income streams, right? You have to be creative. You have to think outside of the box, because what we have going on is Mars. Mars is going to stand still, and it happens at the early part of the month. Hopefully I'll get this video edited and to you by then. Mars stands still on the 8th of September, goes retrograde September 9th. We'll feel Mars's energy even more. Remember, Mars is the fighter. We see a lot of people protesting. We see things getting violent because we're seeing abuses of power. And so we know this. We've been talking about this for over a year, that this was coming. This is Pluto in Capricorn, abuse of power, and Mars in the people, in the sign of our bodies, abuse of power with the body. We see that happening. I see it energetically on paper, and I'll attach the other video, which is the September new moon, the September full moon, and I go in deep and I show you all the connections. You see the lines on paper, you see the red lines, you see the blue lines, you see the connectivity, you see it, and it's like, oh my God, like I had no clue you could get that kind of information from this. But it's there, and it's not over, and it's not going to end anytime soon. We've got this for the rest of 2020. We have to wait all the way until Mars gets out of Aries, and that's not until January of 2021. At that time, Mars will leave Arian energy. Why is that important? Because when Mars leaves Arian energy, it goes into the sign of Taurus. And when it goes into Taurus energy, it'll be a little bit easier because it will no longer be squaring the Capricorn energy. It'll no longer be squaring the cardinal energy, which is Cancer, which is home, and Capricorn, which is my job. I said Capricorn is job, but it's also government, right? It's also those in authority. Those are the bosses, right? And it's big bosses, big government. There'll be other things happening, and we will have another video to talk about that when we get there. It's not going to be all roses and unicorns and birthday cakes and confetti, right? It's not just cotton candy. It never is. It never is. But you always have to look for the good. And that's why I like to do these videos, to pull out the good. And at the time of the new moon, you have Saturn and the moon and the sun together talking to each other. The thing about Saturn in Capricorn talking to your Virgo energy, because that's where the new moon is, in your second house of money, your sixth house of job and work routines, talking to your second house of income. And they're trining. And it's a beautiful trine. They're exact. So your new moon intention, your wish, is going to be all about what kind of work you want to do for your future. But this is tangible. This is not like a dream. This is a reality. And this is a reality because you've been doing a lot of troubleshooting in 2020. You've been tested. You've had to change things up, right? We all have. And you are getting more of a realistic, tangible view of what you can actually do. Might be very different than what you were doing before. Likely it is because, well, that's the theme of 2020. Never been here, never done that. Oh, well, try it. That's the theme of 2020. Saturn is saying, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you establish what you want to do for your long term. What are your long-term goals, right? I'm here to help you establish a financial security for your future. This is what Saturn's doing. It's talking to the sun and it's talking to the moon. And it's your sixth house and your second house. This is your money, this is your income, and your job. This is your career, okay? Make a good wish. Make a wish that's realistic. It's based on what you value. It's based on your information. It's based on your income, but a tangible reality on facts for you because it's Virgo in your second house of money. So it's based on data that you've gathered. It's not like some, oh my God, a rabbit came out of a hat type thing. It's not that. But the point is that data you've been collecting, the information you've been getting, you have the power because of the assistance of the universe to jot these wishes down. Jot these things down. They're realistic and they can come true. The universe has got you. The universe is working with you, Leo. It is working with you. It is sending you beams of energy. I know it's not going to be easy because I know there's a lot of red lines. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of stress and testing. But I also know that the planet Mercury in the sign of Libra is talking to the North Node. in Gemini. And this is a beautiful mutual reception that's going on. And what that means is the North Node in Gemini says, this is what I want. And the Mercury in Libra says, and this is what I want. And they communicate really well together. They're talking to each other. They understand the language that each other is using. It's not like you speak Spanish and you speak Russian and I say, get into a room and work it out. And you're both looking at each other like, how are we supposed to figure this out? I can't even understand what you're saying. No, these two are having a conversation and they speak the same language. Not only do they speak the same language, but they both willingly came to the table because they really, really want to work together. They're trining each other. It is Mercury sending a beautiful, sweet trine on the 22nd, the 23rd. So be aware, 21st, 22nd, 23rd of September. Keep your mind open, keep your ears open about future projects. Likely will involve your immediate environment, your community, but your internet unity, your internet community, because it's social media, it's Gemini energy. It has everything to do with that. This is the next 16 months of your life, working beautifully with your future that's coming in January. And I said that because when Saturn and Jupiter in January move, they go into the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius trines the Mercury that's in Libra right now and the North Node that's in Gemini. They're all air signs. So they set up this beautiful, grand air trine. And air represents thought and talking and communicating. That's what air represents. So this new moon wishing is very important. It can become a tangible reality at the beginning of 2021. Don't waste this. You're placing the wish at the end of the day on the 16th or very early in the morning on the 17th, because the sun and the moon are exact at 25 degrees in Virgo at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's my time zone. You have to adjust for where you are in the world. I am in the United States and I'm in the Central Standard Time Zone. So adjust for where you are. The closer you make your wish to that exact time, the more powerful it is. But remember, the real power is in your thought. The real power is with your emotions. The more you can fuel your emotions, the more you can channel that energy into that new moon wishing, the greater the odds are that that stuff not only comes true, but comes true sooner for you.